Thank you, Tom, for joining me once again for this episode of Renford ReWatched. One of the things I'd like to do in this podcast, as well as looking at individual episodes, is to talk to members of the cast like yourself and maybe do the odd reunion and the odd sort of bits and pieces. You've told me prior to this to go as juicy as I can. So I think the first thing I want to
Sure.
ask is how was it living with Roger Davies?
It was amazing. Roger and I are still good friends to this day, but we were like inseparable back then. And so we lived together, but lots of us lived together in this one big house. But Roger and I, like, we were just inseparable. We did everything together. Best friends, and I loved every single minute of it. Roger and I, we have a musical theatre background, so we would often do a lot of singing and stuff like that. And yeah, no, he will always be one of my really, really good friends. And we lost contact for a while, but during COVID, on my 40th birthday, he sent a video to me, and it was really lovely. And then we sort of reconnected. And I've got a feeling Roger and I are going to do something together at some point. We were talking about doing something a few years ago, but it kind of all sort of fell apart. But yeah, Roger Davies is one in a million, and I absolutely adore him. I love him, actually.
And from what I understand from our previous chat, which is available on the podcast feed, you used to go on quite a few nights out.
That we did. You've got to remember that when I started that series, I was about 16. So we were sort of 16. I think the oldest were Paul Paris and Matthew Leach, who were like 22 or something. I can't remember. But yeah, we went out every night. So it wasn't like a weekend thing. We were young, and all of a sudden had a little bit of money. And so, yeah, we went out a lot. We were a stone's throw away from London, and there were a few messy evenings, shall we say, a few drunken, messy evenings. And it never really stopped, really. So it was, but let me tell you, it was fun. Like, there was never anything seedy or too naughty, you know. It was just fun. We used to all, and we all got on so well, and that was the most amazing thing about it. There were a few clashes every now and then, but all in all, we just all got on like a house on fire. So yeah, we did used to go out a lot. Oh, and also there's a pub, you'll see it in some of the shots, called the Buccaneer, just opposite Gracelands. And so we would probably end up in there most nights after filming, and that's where the partying would start.
Was that kind of reserved by the crew and the company, or was that just an open pub? Yeah.
No, so at night time it was an open pub. Sometimes it was reserved. So in the morning we would have. So when you're on a set, like a film set or a TV set, you have a big lunch truck. But in the mornings, what you do is you go and get your breakfast, and then you would eat it in the pub. So yeah, I guess they kind of hired it out, and we had our first ever rap party in that pub. That was a messy night. That was yeah, I'm not sure I held all that alcohol down that night. We ended up in some hotel in London somewhere. All together, I couldn't even tell you how we got there. It was a long time ago, but I remember all of us being in this hotel room. I don't even know how we got there. I certainly didn't pay for the room. Yeah, so that's the Buccaneer. But also, and I'm sure the Buccaneer is probably not even the Buccaneer anymore, so I'm sure I'm not going to get anyone in trouble. But I was 16, 17, and we were drinking in there every night, you know. So we weren't being looked after in that way, that's for sure. We were led astray somewhat, but it's all good.
Well, yes, different times, I think you can say.
I think so. It was different times, yeah.
Yeah. So was this primarily the cast, sort of the young cast?
Yes, primarily, and also a lot of the crew. So I just had this thing where I would hang out with the crew, sometimes more than the actual cast, actually, because the crew were amazing. They were young and just wanted to have a good time, and I loved them. There was this one guy called Sam, who was a sound engineer, and I would often just go back to his and stay at his and you know, mix records until the early hours of the morning. Got on with the crew fabulously well. The makeup people were amazing. The wardrobe people were amazing. And yeah, we'd often end up in the pub with those guys, but not so much the every now and then the directors and the executive producers or whoever would end up there. Also, the like the sort of office, like the admin office, was right next door to the pub, so they would often end up in there as well. But it was just a great time all round. There was no, I don't remember. I mean, there was a lot of people that worked on that TV series through the years. I can't really remember anyone that stood out as being, a real nightmare. There are a couple which I won't divulge their name, but not everyone just got on. It was just a really fun place to work.
Yeah. With it being the first UK production, did you ever bump into anybody from other sides of Nickelodeon?
I mean, we used to go to the Nickelodeon studio quite a bit to do interviews and promotions and stuff like that. I can't remember. I can't remember bumping into anyone like from the States or anything like that. All I know is that our show was just great, man, and everyone loved it. And I'm not trying to. It's not an ego thing. It's just the truth. It was. Yeah, it just went down so well. And I remember doing. Internet was sort of new back in those days, and I remember we had to do a web chat. So we went and did. It was me, Alex Norton, and I think Charlie Rowland. We went and did some people had won a competition to come down and meet us, and then we did an interview on the TV, like a live interview, and then we did a web chat. And apparently, the traffic they got for that web chat was more than any. Even when like Keenan and Kel and there was a sister I think came to the studio, they had like double the traffic for us, which I thought was a lovely thing to hear. Clearly we were doing something right.
Well, certainly, because as I observed in a previous episode with a guest, we kind of said that because it was English accents coming out of all your mouths, and it was representing England and Britain in a way that I guess the American productions just don't, unless you talk in a very British RP way, which is the way in which sometimes we are represented in American productions. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I think
odd.
I think as well. It was quite a mixing, quite a melting pot, wasn't it? Of people. You had like me from sort of South London, who's as common as muck, and then you've got Alex Norton from Scotland, and then you've got Leachy, who's posh, and he probably will hate me for saying that, but it's true. He's Leachy is posh, and yeah, you just kind of had it all represented. And I guess for you guys watching at home, it was like there was someone for everyone there, wasn't there? Which was nice.
I don't think you thought about it either, did you? You didn't think about the fact that this cast was so diverse.
No, nothing like that. And like I say, we were young. We sort of turned up at this TV set and we didn't really know what we were doing. I don't think any of us were thinking like that back in those days. It was new and it was exciting. I wish I had stood back and sort of had a look at what we had made there, because it was much bigger than I think any of us thought it was. Yeah, I don't think we've sort of realised just how big the show got. We were kind of just sort of, we were in our own little worlds and we just had fun and went out, and I just wish I'd sort of stood back and taken it all in a little bit more. But like I say, we were young and our heads just weren't. It was just like it was a job, just a really fun job to do that had some perks to it. Like earning a bit of money and then there was sort of the recognition side of it, which at first I loved and then grew to dislike very much. But that's part and parcel of it. That just comes with it, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you look at it.
When did you first get to actually sit down and watch the show? Because when you were making it, I can't imagine you were that interested in seeing it.
Oh, I was really interested in seeing it because like I say, I think the only thing I'd done on TV at that time was The Bill. And it was such a small part. And so I really wanted to see what it was looking like. But I had no idea that it would come with any sort of level of, I'm trying not to use the word fame, but it's like recognition, I didn't realise that. I just thought, this is just some tiny little show that, nobody's going to watch. But that's fine, But I was really looking forward to it. I don't remember watching the first. I remember being excited about it coming on TV, and I definitely watched it. But I can't quite remember what I thought But it's when I watch it back like now, because my son loves it. So my son Teddy, who's 12 years old, he just likes watching it because it's fun, and he also likes seeing his dad on the TV. So he'll watch it, and when I watch it back, like the like season one, I just can't. I struggle with that. It makes me it's cringy for me because it's such a terrible performance. But after that, I can just see the fun I was having, and yeah, I don't mind watching that at all. But I think that's a good, like, it stands the test of time. It's because if my son likes it now, then it's obviously a good show. You know, if he can still watch it now with everything that they've got on offer, and he still enjoys it. And he always goes on about the gorilla episode, which I don't think I'm in. And I'm like, come on, son, you know, to big up your dad, feed the ego a little bit, but he doesn't. He likes the gorilla episode, which is fine, you know.
Yes, that was mentioned to me the other day, and I couldn't remember it. So
Oh, really? Yeah,
yeah.
because I wasn't in it. That's why. Yeah, it's where a gorilla. I think a gorilla escapes from a zoo, and then someone dresses up like a gorilla, and the two get confused, something like that. But all I know is I wasn't in it, so let's move on. Let's not talk about it. I'm joking, of course.
I'm sure it was a great episode, but this is what I kind of observed when I was thinking about it, that you guys made 13 episodes a series, which at that time, most sitcoms, if they ran for a series or two, would have 6 or 12 episodes in those two series. You guys made 13. I mean, that's quite a workload. I mean, luckily it wasn't as much as the American thing, 20 odd episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like a workload to us. We're the actors, so we get it easy. You know, we really do. Like, you know, you just got people running around after you all the time. I mean, there's a lady literally as soon as they say cut, she's over to you, she's putting makeup on you, and it's just easy street. It used to get on my nerves a little bit because of insurance purposes and stuff. I remember going to a golf lesson when we were filming the golf episode, and I was driving with my elbow out the car, and whoever was taking me, I can't remember her name, but she was like, get your elbow in, insurance. It used to drive me mad. Like, we were sort of wrapped up in cotton wool. And I remember coming back to, I don't know what season it was, but I'd had a little fracas with my brother, and he'd given me a black eye. And I remember them going nuts about it. Like, what were you thinking? And I was like, I didn't mean for this to happen. But yeah, man, like, so for us, it just wasn't a workload. You know, all we had to do was learn our lines, make sure we're on set on time. Usually hungover on set, jobs are good. And you know, I had the flu once as well. I remember that, and I was doing this scene. I can't remember what episode it is, but if I watched it, I would know exactly which one it is, and I was dying. And as soon as he said cut, I was on the floor, like I was just sort of on the floor shivering. And he sent me home that day. That's the only time I think that happened, when an actor was sort of sent home and just told to go and rest, because I couldn't do it. It was awful. I was so ill. So there you go. You're learning all of the hidden information today.
I mean, yeah, that's tough, but I guess with the way that the rejects worked with the camera and the long kind of scenes, it possibly meant that you could just do your scene and then go home, as it were, rather than having reshoots.
Very rarely did we reshoot anything. I remember, oh yeah, I remember this. After the rap party in the first one, like, that we spoke about, everyone was super hungover, and we had to go in the next day to do a reshoot of something. I can't remember what it was, but we were just, we were in pieces, and that was so painful. But yeah, so it rarely happened that we had to do a reshoot, because we did everything. So everything was set up so, like, to the smallest little detail. So it was all, you know, it was marked out with the camera at first. We'd rehearsed it however many times, and then shot it. And then obviously we would have to shoot it again and again if things didn't go right. But I don't ever remember, apart from that first season, ever doing another reshoot.
Wow. So that would explain why it's not very there's not really any kind of continuity mistakes or anything like that.
No, there isn't, because there was a continuity person who was on us, taking pictures of us all the time. But do you want to know a little secret? And this is something for you to look out for. I deliberately did a continuity mistake, and it's in the golf episode. And at one point, I'm wearing my glove on my right hand, and then it switches to the left hand, and then back to the right again. And I did that deliberately, just so I had something that I could say, look, I did that, which is terribly unprofessional, by the way. But I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And also, you know, when I all of a sudden miraculously appear in the credits when we're all standing there and James Delaney pushes me out the way. Martin Delaney pushes me out the way to kick the ball in the opening credit. You know, the Renford Rejects comes up.
Yeah.
We were into our rap music back then, West Side, East Side, and all that. And if you look very closely, I throw up a sign, a West Side sign with my fingers. So there's another little Easter egg for everybody. I was representing the west coast of America from London. And do you know what? And I'm going to say this as well, right? We all said, let's all throw up West Side signs, right? And I'm the only one who did it. So they completely left me in the lurch there, but it never got found out, and I've never ever spoken to anyone about it. So there you go. There's an exclusive for you.
Well, thank you. I'm sure many people will be looking out for that. Lastly, I wanted to ask about, because one thing that's very prominent in the Rejects is the music. Did any of you have any idea of any of the music that was going to be used and in what context, or was that literally an editor's thing?
That was an editor's thing. We're all still very perplexed about the Australia theme music. We've never understood it. And when Matt and I did our podcast, they sent in questions, and one of them was that, like, why did you use Australia? And we just don't know. But what I did, I loved my theme music. What is my theme? Is it something by
Club to Death? That's the name of it.
Who's that by?
Oh, yes. I know the tune. I know the name of it, but the artist escapes me.
I love it. I love it when I walk in and that music's going on. I think they nailed that one. But as far as us knowing anything about the music literally, we would do our scripts, do our scenes, and that's it. That's the only input we had. So you've got the wonderful team around it, the editors and the directors and stuff like that. You've got them to thank for all of the rest of it. You know, I think that just goes to show. Like, I think a lot of people, they watch something on TV and they go, "Oh, those actors so amazing," but you just don't know the work that goes into something like that. You know, we probably work the least hardest out of everybody. And let's have it right. It wasn't a Hollywood production. So, you've got some of those actors, they really transition into their roles and stuff like that. But really and truthfully, it's the crew and the editors and the directors and the producers. They're the ones doing all the hard work. But they get very, very little credit from the viewing public. They get their awards and stuff like that, but they get very, very few sort of accolades from you guys. But that's just the way it is, isn't it? Because all you're watching is us on the TV. But Renford's was nominated for a BAFTA. We all went to the BAFTA Awards, the Children's BAFTA Awards. It was in Thorpe Park. And I remember we were all coached in up there. We didn't win it, by the way, but we were all coached there. And then Roger and I snuck off into the park to go on a few rides and then snuck back in again. As another little exclusive for you. Luckily, see, the reason I'm telling you all this is because I can't get in trouble for it anymore, So that's why I said you just ask me whatever you want.
And I will do whatever I like. No, that's the wrong podcast. Podcast. I also do a Status Quo podcast. Thanks, Tom, for talking to me.
Welcome.
Do come back.
Can I just? I want to plug something quickly.
Please do. Yeah.
Is that all right? Because there's a charity event called the Country Oak Barnes Cup. It's a football thing. There's going to be some celebrities down there. I'm going to be down there, but obviously I'm not a celebrity anymore. But or never was really. But there's going to be some celebrities and stuff there, and it's all in aid of this child. He's a friend of mine, and his child has this condition, and it's all in aid of that. So it's a really good cause, and it's on Sunday the 30th of April at 11 a.m. If you go onto Facebook and type in Country Oak Barnes Cup, all the information is there, and all of the people that are going to be playing in this celebrity football match. So it'd be really nice if people can come down and give their support to that. And like I say, I'll be there. He's asked me to play, but I'm not sure I've got it anymore, so maybe I'll skip that one. But thank you for letting me do that, Jamie. I appreciate it.